let's start. Example number 1. A die is rolled. Find the probability that the number turned up is number 1, more than 1. Number 2, an odd number. Number 3, a prime number. Number 4, a composite number. See to it, you can still remember all these terms. Odd number, even number, prime number, composite number. So let's recall your grade school days. So more
Miss,
than
I
one.
forgot what a composite number is.
Composite number that can have 2 or more factors, like 4, 2 times 2, 1 times 4. Like 6, 2 times 3, 1 times 6. What else? 8, 2 times 4 is 8, 1 times 8 is 8. 12, 3 times 4, 2 times 6, 1 times 12, and so on. Prime number, a number that has what? Only 2 factors, 1 and itself. Like 2, 1 times 2 only. You cannot think of other factors. Like 5, 1 and 5 only. But of course, prime number is what? Prime number is not always odd number. Like 2. 2 is prime number, but it's not odd number. I think you know odd number already, no? So let's have a die is rolled. So first of all, you think of the outcomes because that will be your numerator. So here, since you will roll a die, your outcome is 6. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your outcome, your denominator is 6. Now, more than 1. What are numbers here which are more than 1? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5, right? So those are your events. Yun yung numerator nyo. So 5 over 6 for number 1. Okay? I hope it's clear. Now, an odd number. So how many odd numbers do we have here? So 1, 3, 5. So there are 3 odd numbers. So there are 3 odd numbers. So yung number 1, there are 5 numbers which are more than 1. Number 2, there are 3 odd numbers. So 3 over 6 reduced to lowest term. This will be 1/2. Prime number. Is 1 prime number? What do you remember? Grade school. Is 1 prime number?
Yes.
1 is odd. So 1 is a special number. It is neither prime nor composite. So remember that. 1 is a special number. It is neither. It is not prime number. It is not prime, not composite. But it is odd. What about 2? Is 2 prime number? Thumbs
No.
up. Thumbs up if 2 is a prime number. So 2 is a prime number because you cannot think of other factors aside from 1 and itself. Aside from 1 and 2. Now, 1 becomes special number kasi 1 times 1. It's really something. Kaya it's special number. So 1 is neither prime nor composite. But 2 is a prime number because it has only 2 factors. So we have 2 for prime number, 2, 3, 5. So there are 3 also. There are 3 prime numbers. Kaya 3 over 6 is equal to 1/2 also. Okay, next, number 4, composite number. So what are composite numbers out of 1 to 6? Those numbers that you can think of more than 2 factors. And those are 4, because you have 1 times 4, 2 times 2. So more than 2 factors, right? And 6, because you have 2 and 3, and 1 times 6. So 2 and 6 only. 2 and 6, 2, 4, no, not 2, erase. 4 and 6. 4 and 6. And there are 2, diba? So 1, 2, Kaya 2 over 6 reduced to lowest term, 1/3. So these are the answers. Let's see if our answers are correct. Next slide.
Miss, I answered it in percent.
Hmm?
I answered it in percent. Is that still
Yes,
valid?
that can also be. Yes, it's okay. Okay, 5 over 6, check, 1/2 check, 1/2 check, 1/3 check. Okay, I hope you got it. Next. So, example number 1, about dice. About a die. Now, this time about coin. If a coin is tossed 3 times, find the probability of getting exactly 2 tails, at least 2 tails, and no tails at all. So remember, what is or how many outcomes if you will have 3 coins? If you, I mean 1 coin, but you will toss it 3 times. Yeah, it's like how many outcomes can you come up with? So during permutation ba? Yes. During permutation, I discussed about this. How about this? So how many outcomes? Nalimutan na. How many outcomes if you will have a coin and you will toss 3 times? It's 2 cube, right? So you'll have 8. So 8 is the denominator. And remember, if you will have the table, you'll have 8. Remember this table? So you have 8, right? You have 8 outcomes. So all heads, head, head, tail, head, tail, head, head, tail, 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 head, head, tail, head, tail, 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 head, all tails. So these are the possible outcomes. Now, for number 1, exactly 2 tails. So just count. How many outcomes or what are those, out of those 8 outcomes, how many have exactly 2 tails? So ito yon, 2 tails, 2 tails. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 3 lang. Please help me to count. Did I get it right? There are 3 outcomes with exactly, sorry, bakit medyo binilang ko? Tails pala. Wait lang ha. Sorry, yan. Exactly 2 tails, tails, tails. How many are those with exactly 2 tails? Ito, exactly 2 tails lang. Ito rin. No more. 3. So exactly 2 tails, there are 3 events out of 8 outcomes. So we cannot reduce it to lowest term. It's the answer. At least 2 tails. So what do you mean by at least? So you can have more than 2 tails. 2 or more tails. So what are those? 2 or more tails. Ito, you have 2. 2, 2, and of course, you have to include an outcome with 3 tails. Kasi at least, so you can have more than 2. So there are 4 in all. That's why it's 4 over 8, or reduced to lowest term, it's 1/2. So 1/2 is the probability. Yung number 1 is 3/8. Next, no tails at all. No tails. So you just get this. Ito yung walang tail lang, yung all heads, di ba? Yung all heads. Kaya there's one event lang out of 8. See to it, you have copy of this in your notebook. Kasi every time there's a question like this, unless you memorize this, so that's what you will do. You have to look at the table. Any arrangement will do. Okay na? So let's see the correct answers. next slide. We have 3/8, check, 1/2, 1/8. Okay, the same answers, check. Let's proceed to the next. If a coin is tossed 4 times, find the probability of getting at least 1 tail. So, hindi ko na ganong pinahirapan yung tanong na yan kasi 4 times. So, sobrang dami nun. A while ago, you have to toss 3 times. So, 3 times, that will be 8 outcomes. What about 4 times? Can you tell me the number of outcomes if you will toss a coin 4 times? Number of outcomes, yes. Maxine, is this answer for this question? Mavi, thank you for this question. Pwede siya ma-solve na hindi ililista yung outcomes? Hindi. There's no other way. You have to really count. You have to count. There's no shortcut. Talagang bibilangin mo for head, 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 tail, 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 and so on. So, the same thing here. But, okay din na hindi mo isulat yon, basta aware ka na if all heads, that's one possibility. If all tails, that's one possibility lang. That's one probability, one event lang. Now, so how many outcomes here if you will toss a coin 4 times? Yes, nakita ko yung sagot nila, 16, di ba? Kasi you have 2 sides of a coin, 4 times that you will toss, kaya 2 to the 4th, 16. So, automatic, your denominator is 16. Now, you have just to think, getting at least to 1 tail. Just remember, if you have all the 16, pwede kasing hindi na isulat yan. Just use your, pwedeng common sense ba ang tawag doon? Or just use your imagination. So, there will be 16. So, there will be 4 like this. Sa dulo, all tails yan. Tapos, ang tanong, at least 1 tail, at least 1 tail, at least 1 tail. So, meaning, ang hindi mo na lang i-consider is yung all heads. Kasi at least 1. All the rest here, if you will write, possible that you have tail, di ba? Possible na may tail yan, at least. So, you can have 1 tail. There are 4 tails in all. You can have 1. You can have 2, 3, 4. So, all the rest will be considered. So, if there are 16, excluding this, so 15 ang meron. So, yun lang yung sagot. So, 15 over 16. Pag sinabi namang at most, let's say at most 1. At most 1 tail. Ano sagot mo? Pag sinabing at most, 1 is the highest. So, ano sagot mo kung at most 1 tail? So, yung isa na may at most 1, so medyo maglilista ka niyan. Tama ba? At most 1 tail eh. So, pwede mong yung may 1 tail lang, possible na may mga combinations na isa yung tail or isa lang yon. O, wag na nating ilista. That's why I did not give like this, which is complicated, kasi you need to count. You need to count all the 6. You need to list all the 16. So, sometimes I give like this lang, pag yung madaling isipin, like at least 1 tail, at least 1 head, and so on. Okay, let's see if our answer is checked. 15 over 16. Okay, so that's all. Limited only to coin, to dice. So let's see if you can do this. 3 coins naman. 3 coins are tossed. What is the probability of getting 3 heads, 2 heads, 1 head? It's the same, it's the same. 3 coins are tossed at the same time. The same outcomes as 1 coin, and you toss 3 times. So, meaning to say, your outcome here is also 8. Sige, huwag na mahirapan sa sarili. So, your denominator here should be 8 then. I'll give you So 8 din Be sure you have the list of those 8. I think just answer as many as you can, but do not answer all. If you cannot do it. Is Enzo here? answer? Okay, so some of you have already answers from A to F. So very good. So letters A to C are very easy. 3 heads. There's one, right? So only one outcome has 3 heads. Only this, right? So there's 1 out of 8. 2 heads, so you just count 1, 2, 3. 3 over 8, right? Okay, sige. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Pwedeng maduling ako sa pagtingin. So 3/8. We cannot reduce it anymore. 1 head. Meron ba? So 1 head, ito, 1, 2, 3. Only 3, no? 3/8. Pag 2 heads, please check kung tama yung pagkalagay ko. Baka mali yung, so all heads, head, head, tail, head, tail, tail. Walang naulit, no? Tail, head, head, tail, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, all tails. Ulit. 1 head, 1 head, 1, 2, 3. Mali, binibilang ko na naman. 1 head. Ilan yung may 1 head? 1, 2, 3 nga. Tama. 3/8 also. Yung may 2 heads, 1, 2, 3 pala. O, tama. 3 din. 3 heads, 1. Bakit ganon? Sorry something is wrong. Okay. 1 head, 3 rin. Tama ba? Tama pagkabilang ko? Agree. Did you get the same answers? 3/8, 3/8. Tama naman, no? Pagkabilang natin. Now, at least 2. So, you can have 2. Hanggang 3 lang naman. Kasi there are 3 points. 2, 3. So, alin yung may 2, alin yung may 3 na tails. So, tails ang titingnan natin. So, ito, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tama ba? 2 to 3. Kasi because of the word at least, you can have more than 2. So, ulit. You can have more than 2 tails or 3 tails. Gumugulo na yung ginagawa ko. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/8. 4/8 or 4/8 or 1/2. At most 2 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. You cannot have 0 kasi wala namang tail yon. Kaya at most 2, pwedeng yung may isang tail, then 2 tails. So 1 tail is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 or divide by 2, 3/4. Agree? Tama ba pagkabilang ko? 3/4. And no tail at all for letter F, no tail of course. Ito yung pinakamadaling tandaan. Yung walang tail, edi yung all heads, so nag-iisang outcome. So 1/8.